Okay, so we're off to Saltmarsh in my D&D campaign, and so I need some docks. So let's have a look at how to make some docks. Docks. How many times can I say docks in this video? Hello and welcome to the Battling Barrow. My name's Kev and we're going to make another bit of terrain. For this we're going to make some docks. There's another time of me saying docks. That word's going to go weird by the end of this video, I'm sure. Yeah, so I needed to set up some a harbour sort of town port that has a dock or multiple docks, and I needed a fair amount of them. I needed something I could make quickly, cheaply, but still look pretty good, and so that's what we're going to have a go at making in this video. So let's get crafting. We are going to make the docks out of this cheap A3 foam. It was meant to be foam board, but it didn't have any paper in it. It takes texture really nice as a positive. As a negative, it's not as strong. But we're going to make the docks out of it. So I'm going to measure a piece of it that is 8 inches long, 2.5 inches wide, and I'm just going to cut that down. Multiple passes still required, even though I've got my paper backing. Once I've got that done, I'm going to come in and just measure a plank pattern in. A real thickness for this, if you like, 1/4 inch, 1/2 centimetre on that. It's just a plank pan. Come in with a hot wire brush, a metal wire brush, and just make the nice wood grain patterning. Just run it up and down in one swoop. You can, of course, batch this together and one big bit of foam, measure out multiples of 2.5 inches wide, put all the deep plank pattern in one go, and texture it with the hot wire, the metal wire brush in one go. Once that's done, come in with a knife and just on the in between the planks at the end, come in and sort of put a little pan down and sort of rough up the end with your knife, and you can even come in on some of them, sort of cut out a little chunk of the end just to add a bit of a depth and interest to them. Just do that all the way down. You can sort of be quite quick and rough with it if you want, and any bits like this just peel off. You end up just roughing it up on the end. At this stage we turn to our wire brush and run it along here to give it a bit of texture into the end of the bits of the wood, to scrape off any of the loose bits from where we've hacked around with our brush, and just add a bit of extra wornness. Also with texture at the end. So okay, now at this stage you want to just raise it off the ground so it's above the water. I'd be a bit worried about my cutting skills to make sure everything is the same height, so I'm going to cheat and just use the actual height of the foam itself, so it's always going to be equal. So with that in mind, I'm just going to cut 6 little bits, and what I'm going to do is underneath, I'm just going to hot glue them to the underside, roughly where I'd want the top post to be. So this will raise it off the ground. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 2 at each end, 2 in the middle, and this will raise it off the ground, but it will all be at the same height. I should come in and tidy up the hot glue gun wisps later on off camera. So now this will be off the ground but the same height. I might have to come in at some point because this stuff's quite bendy, flexy. I might come in and put a bit underneath just so it is sturdier. I don't know. I might just keep these and not glue them on, and I don't know. Anyway, now we're at this stage. We'll come in with the top posts. These are about 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch high. They've been textured, much the same. Just got to do the non-paper bits, if you like. And all I'm going to do is just eyeball up where it would be on that side and glue them in so they match the post underneath, and I shall do that all over. Time to paint them. I'm going to base coat in burnt umber, and I would highly recommend mixing in some Mod Podge in it, doing a sort of black magic craft if you like, because this foam, especially if you're using this foam, it's really quite delicate. It will just help give it a bit of protection. I'll paint around the edges first and then paint the base at the top and allow it to dry. Next, I love this horse tone growing by Coat Arms for a nice weathering effect. Give it a nice, fairly heavy dry brush of this, because I want this to be really weathered by seawater. But you can just see already it's just looks lovely. Nice. Just go over the whole lot. And we'll be left with something like this when you painted them. Some of them are made with longer poles on the end. I'm going to get some jute string and I'm going to wrap it around on the end so the ships can dock there. No idea how this is going to work. I think I'm just going to go in some hot glue gun glue. Probably burn myself to bits. Something like that. Sure. Bit more hot glue guns, probably better, a small bit at a time. And once both are done, it'll look like that. But now let's add a wee bit more detail. I have these little rings here, and what I'm going to do is add them onto the outside so little boats can use them to moor up with. All I'm going to do is I'm going to apply it with hot glue, because a bit like that, a little blob there, not too much. Grab one, the end of some tweezers, stick it in. And I've done this side already. I'm just going to do one at the top of each post, including the ones I've done with rope. Almost done. The rings probably look a bit shiny, so what I'm going to do is dull them down, rust them up a bit. I'm going to just use some Reikling Flesh Shade. I don't know where the focus is on this, right down there. Brilliant. And all I do this a lot of metal. It's a nice, quick, dirty way of getting rust. Just go over it, like so. A bit of rust runs down here, that's cool, adds to the effect. Just do that on all the rings. I have made some netting, much like the Lake Town house. If you want to see how it's done, go watch that video. But before it's totally dry, I'm just going to come in, take any old bit of dock and just apply it, put it in place, just so it's wet. That's why it's drying, so it's in place. You got some discarded fisherman's net in there. You have it crazy, put one all dangling over. So yeah, I'm just going to go through and add those to at least one to every dock, I think. One other thing we can do is take some of that jute string, soak it in some glue, and sort of coil it around a finger. It helps if I'm doing it on screen. Like an old pair of scissors. And sort of have a coil of rope going on. Like so. Now they're dried and glued, all that's left to do now is to give them a little wash in a brown. I'm going to use this sepia, but if you don't have that, you can just use a brown wash. If they even have a brown wash, just brown paint watered down will do, just to weather them up and dirty them up. You don't want perfectly white nets, much the same as I did for the Lake Town house. And when you're done, you'll end up with something that looks like this. The net here nice and weathered, little ropes glued on. I don't know yet, I haven't done it yet, if I'm going to reinforce it as I mentioned earlier. Let's see how play goes today, and I'll let you know if I do that, but for now I'm not going to bother. That's it for this video. Thank you for watching. I hope you're enjoying these sort of nautical builds you're doing at the moment. Hopefully we'll bleed up to building a whole sort of pirate city or something. Who knows? Who knows where this is going to lead to. But for now, thanks for watching. We'll have a look at them all set up now. Until the next video, guys, stay safe and take care.